Welcome to Neon Pizzas, your local pizzeria for all of your wild and nonsensical FNAF theories. It's also my first ever video! Now, quick disclaimer before we get started. I am a broke college student who is actively recording this in a dorm closet. So yes, I know the audio's crappy, but I hope that the audio will get better as I make more videos in the future. Well, with that said, I'm pretty sure we can jump right into the video now. What the frig is up with this bear? The Fredbear plush is probably the most confusing thing about FNAF 4. He seems to conspicuously follow Dave around. Yes, I'm calling him Dave. Gosh, reading his thoughts and even hiding in the bushes and pretending to be a flower at one point. What is this game? This isn't necessarily a theory video. In fact, most of this video is me asking questions. There will be some theories sprinkled in there, but this is more of an analysis video. Which you can tell by the title, funnily enough. We will be going line by line, just trying to draw attention back to some unanswered questions. But if you yourself have anything to add, feel free to drop a comment. This fandom stays alive because of our discussions. Now, before we begin the line analysis, I think it's important to know what exactly this bear is. We learn from Sister Location that it was actually given to Dave by William, and that he spies on him and talks to him through it. Does this mean that everything that it says is actually coming from William? I guess. The more we get into this, though, the more you'll realize how little we actually think about this detail. Many theorists actually seem to be in denial about this detail. A lot of people still think that the Fredbear plush is partially supernatural because of all of its shenanigans throughout the games. While I do definitely believe that this theory still holds water, for this video specifically, I will be viewing it as if it's William specifically speaking, as that's what I believe to be implied in Sister Location. Honestly, I'm just trying to draw attention back to this fact and see if there's anything of value we can still get out of it. Welp, let's get right into the analysis, shall we?
What did he do this time? He locked you in your room again. Don't be scared, I am here with you.
We can all easily assume that the he's referring to is Mike in these lines, right? Throughout the game, it's fairly obvious that it's just Dave and Mike in the house. Maybe this is why William felt the need to give Dave the Fredbear plush in the first place. He was never home, leaving Mike to take care of him. Poorly, might I add, as it was just stated that he was locking Dave in his room and scaring him constantly. While we have no idea how old Mike is in this game, I feel like we can assume that no matter how old he is, he's not ready to take care of a young child on his own. Once Dave falls on the ground crying, all this little stupid bear has to offer is a simple,
"Tomorrow is another day."
A line that gets very old very fast, especially if you are being abused and neglected by your dad and brother. Thanks, Dad. You know, I feel better already.
You know he's hiding again.
Mike.
He won't stop until you find him.
My gosh. I know we already talked about this, and it's been repeated over and over and over again in this fandom, but William is a terrible father. Yes, I know you're being relentlessly bullied and scared by your brother, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to give you this scary, freaking, stupid bear thing with eyes that follow you around everywhere. Tomorrow's another day, you stupid, scaredy, pathetic little child boy thing. Whew, sorry, went a little off the rails there. Ho ho ho, we're getting into the juicy stuff now, boys.
He left without you. He knows you hate it here.
Mike. Again. Most likely. I mean, who else?
You are right beside the exit. If you run, you can make it. Hurry. Run towards the exit.
So, Dave does not like Fredbears. He seems absolutely terrified of the prospect of even being in the building. The weirdest part about this, though, is that William seems to be encouraging this fear, essentially saying that he should run and get out as fast as possible. He co-owns this place, right? Any sane father would say something like, "Oh, I own this place, it's safe, there's no need to be afraid," and all that garbage, blah, 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 blah. But he doesn't. He doesn't want him there either. There's the possibility that he just knows that he's scared and wants to help him get out, but with the other lines we hear from this night, which we'll cover later, I highly doubt this fact. Another reason he would probably want him out is if this took place after the MCI. Mainly because he probably doesn't want his son around all the children he's killing and all that. I'm not 100% sure that this is the case, though. Because with as little as we've made up about this timeline, it just doesn't add up with this game happening in 1983 and the MCI presumably taking place in 1985. It has also been confirmed that 1983 was the year that Freddy's first opened. So in order for this to work, the MCI would have to take place the same year that Freddy Fazbear's opened, which is possible but not necessarily probable. And with this next line, I think you'll come to understand that there's probably something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
It's too late. Hurry the other way and find someone who will help. You know what will happen if he catches you.
What?
Officers, it's this one right here.
This line right here is the reason I made this video in the first place. In my humblest of FNAF fan opinions, this line has not been thought about nearly enough. If we are looking at this line as if it is being said by William, then what the heck is he going on about? It can't be Mike because it was already stated that he has left the pizzeria. But if that's the case, then who and why? Why does he not want us to get caught? What will happen if we get caught? The only explanation I can kind of come up with is if he doesn't want him to get caught by the employees. Or maybe this specific employee? Because even in the next line,
You can find help if you can get past them.
implies that the other people in the pizzeria are most likely safe. This leads me to believe that this specific employee, or the employees in general, holds some sort of threat to Dave, at least in William's eyes. But what on earth would make this specific employee any different than...
Wait.
a Fredbear's employee who wears the Fredbear's suit? Is this Henry Emily? There's no freaking way that this is Henry freaking Emily. How has no one ever thought of this before? I mean, it all lines up. He would be alive and working in Fredbear's at this point, right? And there wouldn't be much of a logical reason for William to want to keep us away from Henry, but it makes more sense than him wanting to keep us away from some random employee. Maybe there's a more deep-seated reason for all of this. I'll try to cover this specific detail more in a future video, but I thought it was really interesting and had to share it in this one as well. I really hope you guys can let me know if you think this is actually a truth or not, because I think this is crazy. It's also important to note, though, that while you're in Fredbear's, the Fredbear plush is nowhere to be seen. This could raise the argument that the lines aren't actually coming from William, but with the text color being the same, I feel like it would just make things way more confusing than they should be. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this theory. Anyway, let's move on. And what do you know? The confusion continues!
He hates you. You have to get up. You can get out this time, but you have to hurry.
So, once again, we find ourselves trapped in Fredbear's, and good old Willy Boy is telling us to get up and get on out of there. Exactly how many times does he have to say that he doesn't want Dave there for us to get it? Also, how does he keep getting into Fredbear's anyway? It's most likely Mike bringing him there, as it was implied in the night before that he was the one leaving him there. But then why does William keep letting this happen? It gets even more confusing when you try to go deeper into Fredbear's.
No. Don't you remember what you saw? The exit is the other way. Hurry and leave.
What the frick did he see? This line has baffled theorygoers since the day this game was dropped. Some people believe that he was scared of the animatronics because he may have witnessed his sister being scooped. Others believe that he may have witnessed Charlie getting murdered, but I don't think that's the case because he's afraid of the animatronics, and Charlie didn't get killed by animatronics. There's a slight chance that he could have witnessed any of the MCI children, but once again, I doubt that. There are so many interpretations of this line, but I don't like any of them. What could he have possibly seen that would somewhat fit neatly into the timeline? But let's be honest with ourselves, when has anything ever fit neatly into the timeline? I would love to know if you guys have any other ideas, though.
You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together.
So, remember when I pointed out about 2 sections ago that if the speaker for Fredbear changed randomly, then it wouldn't make any sense? Remember? Now, if you've ever watched any FNAF Theorist video, then you most likely know about the text color change. The text color change that somewhat implies that someone else is speaking in this scene. So, in my opinion, there are 2 ways to look at this. 1. This is William speaking. This would show that in some way he was trying to revive and or save his son through something like remnant or some other stuff that I don't understand. But have we ever seen this come to fruition? Could William be the reason that he's possessing Golden Freddy? Also, we do know that the line, "I will put you back together, blah blah blah," was quoted again by Michael in Sister Location.
I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now.
And all that crap. You've heard it. The one thing I can't quite understand is why William would be saying, "We are still your friends." Maybe it was because he never meant to tell Dave that it was him speaking to him? And that Dave just believed for a long time that the bear was just an imaginary friend, and William just chose to encourage this? Could be. Who knows? Who knows anything, really? Number 2. This could be Cassidy. Hear me out for a second. Yes, I very much remember what I said about the MCI multiple times throughout this video, but I also strongly believe that Dave didn't die directly after the bite. This is very simply shown by the IV and flowers next to his bed. Who knows how long he could have stayed alive after he got bitten? There is a possibility, slim though it may be, that the NCI took place in between the bite and his death. At least that's how I like to look at it. Putting him back together can also allude to the idea of both Cassidy and Dave possessing Golden Freddy, or setting up Happiest Day. I personally like this theory much more than the William theory because I like to think that the color change was on purpose. But do we really know? No. We'll probably never know. That's just the thing with this franchise. OMG, I have no idea how to write an outro. So, what do you think? Do you guys think that William is the one speaking in all of these lines? And if not, who do you think is? And if he is, what do you think about some of his lines that have left seemingly ambiguous? I hope you enjoyed the video despite lack of answers. I am actively working on some real theory videos about now, so if you're interested, drop a subscribe. I am addicted to this franchise. Oh, and before I go, if you hadn't noticed about these lovely little sprites that I have, go follow the Jaded Knight. She drew all of them, and she is amazing. Go do that. Love ya. Bye.